right? We just want everybody. Well, I don't know about we. I say I want everybody to be able to look at themselves and find out what it is that they really want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What do you really want out of whatever it is? What do you really want out of life, or out of your job, your relationship, your this, your that, your whatever? Instead of speeding through and trying to get to that end result, take the time to kind of just cruise.
Yeah.
Right? Feel it out.
Right.
Figure it out, and then make your moves.
Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Deep MCs, the podcast that seeks to push meaningful conversation to a whole new level. Whether it's for your entertainment or your personal growth, we appreciate you being here today. And now, on to the show. What's going on, man?
What's good, bro?
Hey, another day, another wonderful day.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What are we getting into today?
Man, we're going to talk about cruising is where it's at. So
Cruising is where it's at.
we're discussing some balance, man.
Yeah, no, balance is good, right? I'm trying to balance the volume here in this sound.
No doubt.
Yeah, no, cruising is where it's at. I think that a lot of people, they assume, well, I guess let me start with me. I don't want to say a lot of people. I talk about myself. I can't speak for everybody. I'm not a patient person. I like to mash the gas, right? I like to go. I like to get there. You know, let's hurry up, right?
Yeah,
But then
right,
a lot of times you end up hurry up and wait,
Yeah.
which isn't always a good thing. So I think it would help to have a little more balance, right? And understand that it's a steady pace, right? It's consistency. It's moving towards the goal,
Yeah.
but also enjoying the process, also learning while you're going, and not just saying, boom, this is it. Because a lot of times what you'll find out is if you go too fast, you'll get there and you're not ready, right?
Yeah,
If you
right.
go too slow, you're going to miss every
miss it.
opportunity
Yeah.
that could have happened, all the cool things that go along with it, right? So staying consistent and moving forward. And I think that is that's a hard thing to do for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, man. I mean, just balance in general, right? I think is one of those things that it, like you said, you speaking for yourself, right?
Yeah,
I'm speaking for me with being able to balance all of the different hats that you normally wear, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so at some point, I agree with you completely. I've mashed the gas on quite a few things, right? And decided, okay, you know what? I got to get through this season or this place or, you know, whatever this is, right?
Right.
And sometimes mashing the gas, you miss out on some of the lessons that you were supposed to learn in that then you still have to, you repeated it, right?
Yeah,
You ended
yeah.
up repeating it.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that I've definitely tried to be more cognizant of is, okay, yeah, it may not be the most enjoyable place, right? This is probably not the place where you want to be. No, you don't want to be here long, but let's figure out what it is that we're going to consistently do to assure that we don't have to come back to this place again, right?
Right. No, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, right, that consistency is huge. And we use the gas metaphor, we use
right.
cruising. And,
Right.
and if you think about that, I mean, I guess it's going to vary for a lot of people depending on where you live, right? But you think about when you're out there and you're driving, right? And you're going along the road, you know, every time you mash the gas and speed up, you usually end up running up behind someone that's taking their sweet time.
Bruh.
And then you got to slow down. Right, you know,
Pissed off,
exactly, mad as hell. And then you if you go too slow, you're holding people, and you have people flying around you, cutting you
Right.
off crazy, right?
Right.
But when you're out there and you're taking that trip along I-10, because I mean a lot of us are on I-10 nowadays, right? If you get that cruise control as you're going, it seems to be a better flow for everybody, right?
Yeah,
you're not
right.
too fast, you're not too slow, right? And if people need to apply that to their life and really understand, what does that mean for them? What does that mean when we say, okay, hey, consistency, right?
Does that conserve energy?
Yeah,
Like,
I
does
mean,
that conserve gas? Because
Yes.
you're not pressing the gas too much. You're not pressing the brake too much.
Yes.
The car has settled into
it's settled into its rhythm, right?
its rhythm, right?
Its rhythm, yeah. You know, if you look at your I'm one of those weird people. We know I like numbers, right?
Which is why I asked.
Right, every car, every
I knew we were about to head.
We're about to go down,
Right.
Go on that weird road, right? But I'm one of those guys that you can have in your car if you have that active MPG.
I got it.
And I like to see how
like to see
high
it.
I could get it, and if I could just keep it right there, right? And what you do is you will find out, you take a certain amount of pressure. We're going way off into a whole nother fucking world, but you take enough pressure. As you increase your speed, the wind resistance is slowing you down, right? So
right.
you have to break that wind resistance at first, and then you're going to end up having a very low MPG because you're trying to get that momentum forward. You're trying to move that weight, and then there comes a point in time where you're breaking the wind just right. You're also getting the aerodynamics just right? And you're putting just enough, right? It's easier to keep something going than it is
to start it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, right.
And then you get into that flow.
Isn't that the theory of motion? One of those motions.
This is one of those. We're
right?
not, look, don't give me the line because I'll say it wrong and then you get crucified by somebody. You don't even know, whatever it is, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, you hit that point, of where everything is working together as a whole.
Yeah.
And that's when you settle in. You'll notice that your MPG will just skyrocket, right? But yeah, because you're not putting a lot of effort into getting things moving. You're also not being slowed down.
Right.
Everything's moving forward. And it's just this perfect Zen moment of everything working together.
The reason I asked is because you're always going to set up this scenario that then is going to give us a lesson, right? Because what you said is that the external, the wind and everything that's pressing against it, all of it begins to kind of work together.
Yes.
It works symbiotically into a system now that is working together as opposed to working against.
Yes.
Right. And so the aerodynamics of the car, the wind resistance now is the level of acceleration you are is a good place. And you see this leveling off of, like you said, the MPG, right? Yep. So now the level of energy, you can kind of gauge that.
Yes,
it's going to take me this much. And so now it's not this heightened level of energy that you're exerting and you're worn out.
Yes.
And it's not this low level that's not achieving the goal.
Yes.
Right. So now you have a consistent MPG, which is why, I think we, one of those things where this car metaphor makes a whole lot of sense in this scenario is because I think sometimes we get impatient, and we talked about that impatience.
Yes.
And so now, even though we've set the cruise control, we're going to run up on that person that, that decides they want to go, 20 miles less than the speed limit
right.
in the wrong lane.
Yes.
Right. And you have to stop. Basically, you almost have to you have to slow your whole momentum down. All of the Zen you just created has to change. Right.
Yep.
And then you have to adjust. And I think it's those adjustments that sometimes because now I'm looking for a place where, okay, this is me and my driving. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to slow down. I don't want to stop my speed.
Right.
So now I'm seeing you. I'm looking for an opportunity to change lanes, change a couple lanes if I have to.
Right.
So that I don't have to stop my speed. Right. And then once I change lanes, I'm gonna drift over. Right. I don't even see what's in this other lane, but I feel like that one's gonna be faster. So I drift over another lane.
Yep.
And I get mad because that person is going slower than the person I was already over here with,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so those are the things that I think, we do in our lives, right? We're going at a consistent pace. We run up on somebody that we feel like is slowing us down, right? That is, that is keeping us from getting where we need to be on time, right?
Yes.
And so I change lanes and I do it abruptly.
Yeah. Now that you say that, and I'm thinking, like, I'm really curious to see. There needs to be a study. There's got to be a study out there. There's got to be a study out there somewhere, right? Does your driving correlate to how you live your life? Does your driving correlate to how you live your life?
All right.
Because if you're a person that is always go,
yep,
and you get mad when things are in your way,
yep,
that would correlate to a road rage, possibly.
Right.
If you're a person that just very lackadaisical, hey, I'll get there when I get there. It is what it is, Are you just out there just cruising along, right?
Yeah.
Is it possible that the way you see things, the way you go after things in life is a direct representation of how you drive, right? People that are really extreme, are they the ones that are out there building the drag racers and so on and so forth, right?
Right.
I don't know. I could kind of see that, right? Because that's kind of,
there may be some correlation to that.
I feel like there might be. Someone's got to do a study for that. But what you're saying is true in a lot of ways, and I think that when we're using the analogy of a car to your life, it does make a lot of sense because you think about, we talk about that synergy that you make, and it also, when you get to that moment of zen, when you get to that moment of maximizing your MPG, right? The effort, you're using a lot of effort to get there, but once you get to that successful number of everything working together with the downforce, with everything, that it also becomes very easy to maintain that level of functioning, right? And you think about that when it comes to being in life and being successful, it takes a lot of effort to get up that hill to get to where you want to be. But once you hit that level of success, things start coming to you, and it's easy. People want to work with you. People want to give you things.
Right.
And now it's easy.
It's easier for you to maintain it.
That level, right? So I think as we're discovering this, as we're
which we always do,
I think that says a lot, and correlating those things together, and it's about taking the time to put the effort in, right, and doing it, right. Terrible segue. Speaking of time, shout out G-Shock.
Here we go.
Right. Just want you to know, GAB 2100 again in the show. Got to pay the bills, right? Anyway, taking the time to put forth the effort to be successful in what you're trying to do. And a lot of people, they just want to get there. They just want to mash the gas and get there and not realize that there is, like you said, there is that amount of work you have to put in. And I feel people give up, right? And they want to, like you said, change lanes. They want to go over here. Well, this isn't working. I'm going to go try this. Well, shit, this isn't working. I'm going to go back and try this.
Yeah.
And you just end up stuck in that same area. You have to be able to look at it and assess, well, when is it a good time? We talk about pivoting. When is it a good time to change? When is it a good time to make that move that's going to help us get to where we need to be? Or do we need to chill the fuck out, enjoy the ride that this is?
Yeah.
And we end up getting there to that destination faster than if we jump back and forth, right?
Man, you mentioned kind of that resistance, right? And when I thought about the resistance, I thought about me. I'm a old country boy, right? I've had plenty of vehicles that didn't have air conditioning. Okay?
Yeah.
And so without having air conditioning, I would always have the windows down. Well, I always thought that I was conserving energy by riding with the windows down. Right? This is saving me gas because I'm not running the AC. You're
creating a whole bunch of drag.
But I'm creating a ton of drag, and it never even dawned on me that I was creating resistance with the idea that I was saving energy. Right?
Yeah.
And so I think that there's places that we have to reevaluate. You said that at the beginning. We have to go back and look at what we're doing and how we're doing it, because we may feel like it's the greatest idea, right? Yes, I'm plugging along. I'm going 85 down I-10, but with the windows down. Right? And so now my whole system it takes more energy to get into that middle ground, because now the wind is coming into the car and it's pushing back as I'm trying to go forward, right?
Yeah.
And I had no idea that was resistance. That was causing me. I'm speeding. But I've also built in resistance into my own system and had no idea that I was doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to evaluate even those things that we feel like are working or the best solution. right? Because sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're counterproductive to what we're actually trying to accomplish, man.
Oh no, 100%. Not only is it counterproductive, it also dirties up your headliner because a lot of dust flies in.
A lot of dust flies in.
You always tell the people that drive with their front windows open,
I'm that dude.
Look in the back, and the back headliner is always darker than the front because all the dirt that's flying in.
But it's my dashboard. I get upset
the dashboard
because
too.
there's just dust on my
everywhere.
dashboard all the time. Right?
I'm not. Oof, that's rough. It was just a little car detail. If you realize you have a dusty dashboard and a dirty headliner, you're probably driving with your windows open.
With your windows open.
Close the windows, and you'll be fine. No, but what you're saying is right though, and as you're saying that though too, I think about there's also a lot of paralysis that comes with that, and if we're keeping with the driving theme, right? This is gonna go two ways here. So keeping with that driving theme, you take a person that has been in an accident, right? Someone that's been in a bad accident that usually changes the dynamic of how they drive, right? You know, and then now they're afraid to do this or do that, which I could tell an accident story, but we'll save that for another time. But also when it comes to evaluating, you know, there is a paralysis that comes with things. And on the car topic, for me, I've had a lot of cars. I've had the opportunity to own a lot of really nice cars. I've had the opportunity to drive a lot of really nice cars. I was having a conversation with one of my guys at work. It's unfortunate if you were to add up the value, well, not now because things are astronomical through the roof, but when car prices were normal, you know, if you were to add up the dollar value of cars that I had over the course of my time, it's depressing. It's a lot of money, that's gone, right? But I think about things, the cars that I wish that I still had, right? Like I had a 58 Cadillac that I wish I still had. I had a 64 Impala that I wish I still had. You know, I had a really nice Chevy Silverado truck that was lifted that I wish I still had. You know, there's a lot of things that I wish I would have kept. But for one reason or the other, life didn't allow it. You need some cash, right. Whatever. Yeah. And these things are gone. So, my Pontiac that I had as well was another one that, you know, the reason why I got rid of it was just whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter why I got rid of it. I miss that car every day. I love that car as all my other cars. I'm a car person, but losing all of those vehicles has caused me to have, like, instead of buyer's remorse, I have seller's remorse, right? And so now I refuse to sell, like, all the couple cars I have now. I've made it up in my mind I'm never gonna sell them.
You're never gonna sell them.
I've had people leave notes on my house door for my truck. People pull me over on the highway. Hey, you want to get rid of it? Whatever. I won't do it. I don't care. I don't care if I'm not driving it. I don't care if it stays in the same spot. Like,
you're not getting rid of it.
I'm not getting rid of it. But is that the best scenario? Right? Because now I'm paralyzed. Is that the best scenario for this?
Gotcha.
Maybe that could serve someone else better. Maybe the money I could get from selling whatever vehicle it is could be used to help, you know, project my goals or my projects or whatever. Like, I mean, money always helps, right? But you know, because I refuse to get rid of those things, even though I'm not using those things, does that cause me to be, I don't know, hindered in a way?
Well,
right?
I think this situation may be different than some of those other ones, right? Because those other ones were fueled by a need.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You needed the cash, or you needed this, or you needed that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe,
and so,
I don't know. That's where I have to reevaluate.
Yeah, I got you. So I'm asking, I guess, with the truck, you know, does that one really hold a place in your heart for something like the Cadillac did, or the
and that's, I guess that's where the evaluation comes in, because at the time, even though they did, but they didn't, right? They all represented something.
Okay.
Right? The Impala represented, you know, all the effort and work that I put in, the money that was put in, everything to get it, you know, reconditioned, put together, whatever, blah, blah, yada, yada. Like, all of those things have a special story. All of those things have something behind them. But at the time, what I felt was a need outweighed. You're gonna regret this in the future, right?
So let me use it. Let me use a real estate term, right?
Okay.
So what they told us, what they've always, one of the best lessons I learned as a as a buyer in real estate is to buy the best home in the best neighborhood, right? So even if it's the smallest home, buy that smallest home in the best neighborhood, because there's going to be an appreciation, right?
Right.
Because the way that you get to $1 million home is to take the appreciation from that home and drop it right into the next one. So your first home then builds the second home.
Right.
Second home builds the third home, so forth and so on. That by the time you're at the end of the third or fourth or fifth home, you've reached the $1 million home.
Yes.
So do you take the truck and put it into something that is going to be increasing value, right? So that it no longer loses its importance. So if it is about getting rid of the truck, does the truck then flow back into buying another Impala that you're going to refurbish, right? Does that money then go into something so that you don't lose its importance, because now it created something even more valuable?
Yeah. That's a very good question. That's a very good question. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
And it was just me thinking, right?
Ideally, I would like to say you keep the truck,
you keep it,
still
go build the other one. Yeah.
Right. Which is why we would love everybody to like, comment, subscribe, and share, so we can continue to grow the show. Look, I'm full of segues today. Continue to grow the show. Like, comment, subscribe, and share, so that we can be better for you, do better. Not so I can buy cars. Obviously, we're here for you guys. But if for some way I do get some money off of it, I'm buying an Impala again. I'm letting everybody know.
Right.
I would love to be back there, but that goes to what we're saying, right? Is the work, the analyzing, the consistency, the growth, knowing when to change lanes, right? I don't know, and I think that for me that was the hardest point, right? Is because all of those things, if I think back, everything that I've done and all of the cars that I've sold, oh man, first of all, it makes me sad, but the need wasn't as severe as I would have thought.
Yeah. I mean, you made it bigger than what it was at the moment, right?
And it's like when we talk about when we're out there driving and we're flying up behind that car, right? Even though that car is going in front of us, they're going 75 and the speed limit is 65, and we're coming hot at 85, and we're mad at that person who was already going faster than they should be going. Yeah. Right? And then we get mad, oh, you fucking asshole. Was it really that severe?
Yeah, I got you. Right.
I mean, in the moment, maybe, depending on what, if you're rushing because your wife is having a baby in the car, or if someone just died, or there's an accident you're trying to get to, but if it's to keep you from being 2 minutes late to work, but then again, if that's your last time being 2 minutes late to work, and you're gonna get but then again, maybe you should wake up earlier if you're always 2 minutes late to work, right? So it's always that, but people don't, I guess they don't go through that point of analyzing. They're always just so focused on what's happening
in the moment, right now,
in the moment, right then and there, and not saying, hey, is this worth it? And that's for me where I messed up, right? I didn't think about, what does this mean? I looked at my current situation and I based it off of that, but your current situation isn't always your permanent situation. And I think a lot of people forget that. I think a lot of people just assume, this is where,
right?
Yeah, this is where you're at, right? And not that I can grow from there, not that, whatever, but excuse me, that's why I think when we talk about people that buy things, right? They say if you want something, to wait, was it 7 days or something like that, and see if you still want it.
Okay.
Right? If you still need it. I don't think 7 days is long enough. I think it should be longer than that, because if you really, right? If you really are hyped up on something, you're more than likely you're probably still going to want it in 7 days.
Yeah,
right. But you look at those situations, those scenarios, and then you have to ask yourself, like, this thing that just came out, whatever it may be, are you wanting it because it's new, or are you wanting it because you need it, right? But then your life was fine before you knew it existed.
Yeah.
Your life will be fine after you
even
realize
it's
there.
Going. Yeah, right.
And just trying to make sure that the decisions that you make align.
It's the things, man. It's like new cell phones, right? You know, and we talk about that, right?
Yeah.
The latest version comes out, you know, in 2 weeks, and there's already 1 million pre-orders for it, right? And those same people were already in the pre-order line for the one that was previous. So it's not even full year old, but you've already established that I have to have the next one, right? And so, you know, there's that. I guess again, everybody has their vice, right?
Yeah.
But for some people, you haven't even worked out you don't even know how all of the phone even works at this point before you switch over to the next one, right? So you couldn't have gotten the full value out of it.
Yeah.
You know, because you sped through it. You sped to the next thing, right? You're doing 90 to nothing to the next thing, and you haven't even really considered how great is this one, right? Because, I mean, how many more cameras do we need to upgrade on phones, right?
Apparently a lot.
Because that's really the only thing that's changing on them at this point.
Yeah.
The size and a camera.
Here we go. Down on the Here we go down a whole another rabbit hole. I'm glad that you said that. You know, it's funny because I was thinking about phones the other day and how ridiculous it is that there's amount of change. But, you know, I remember when the cameras were first coming into phones. Here we go as we age ourselves. The cameras were first coming into phones. And I want to say, like, the first one I had, it was like 0.5 megapixel.
Yeah, right.
Half a megapixel.
It was bad.
It was terrible, right? But I thought, this is changing the world.
Right.
I could take a whole picture,
right,
blurry as all get out, but it was a picture. And I remember too, which just makes me mad now I think about it, but there was a Motorola phone. Was it Motorola? Was it LG? No, it was LG. Verizon had it. It was LG, and it was a little silver flip phone. And if anybody knows the model number, drop it in the comments. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, the whole point of it was it had a camera, but it was also one of the first ones that on the flip top, it had a little tiny, like smaller than a dime, but it was a reflective panel that was on the little bubble, and it was there because it was so you could turn the phone around because it's only outward facing cameras and take a selfie so you could see yourself and take a selfie.
So you could see yourself in the little mirror.
In the little tiny, even though you really couldn't see, but that's what they advertised it as, so you could take a selfie of yourself.
All right.
And I was just like, that's stupid. It's so ridiculous,
right,
even back then, you know. And then the phones were huge, then they went really small.
Yep.
And now they're getting huge again.
Yep.
And I'm like, why are we just never happy?
And we're going back to the flips.
Yeah, going back to the flips now.
Yeah.
You know, the technology back then, these kids don't understand, that was mind-blowing. You could pick a call up by just opening your phone.
Right.
And you can hang up a call by
closing the phone.
I'm mad at you, this conversation's over. Bam. Close the phone. But kids don't realize, I don't know. I'm going off on a whole nother rabbit hole because I was one of those guys back then. It was what you're saying when you're talking about the phones.
Right.
And it got so bad at one point because back then you had more than 2 phones. Nowadays, kids, you have an Apple phone or you have a Galaxy phone.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
But you used to be able to go into whatever your cell phone provider was, and there was 20 phones.
You get a BlackBerry.
Yeah,
you can get
everything. A BlackBerry, a Palm Pilot, a Taro, whatever. Qualcomm made phones, Motorola made phones, LG made phones, Samsung made phones, Nokia made phones. I mean, I can go on and on, right? And I got locked up in the hype because technology was moving so fast. So what I ended up doing at one point was I had 3 cell phones. I had 3 lines, right? Because again, back then you used to be able to get a free phone after, right? And then it went from no longer a free phone to X amount of dollars credit.
Yeah.
And then it went from X amount of dollars credit to now you just got to pay us per month or buy it outright.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how that works.
It, right.
Right. But either way, I had it set up on the 3 lines so that basically every time a new phone would come out, I was able to get it on one of the lines because I was available for an upgrade.
Got it.
And then I would just take that new phone and put it on my main line.
Okay.
And then have the others just waiting so that I was going through phones.
So you had a system.
I had a system because I always had to have, right? Because if you think about it, back then, again, sorry guys, we're going off on a tangent. But back then, right? like the first flip phone, right? Or one of the most popular flip phones, the Motorola StarTAC. And then they had the first color screen, which really wasn't a color screen. It was just blue numbers on a screen. And I wanted it.
Yeah.
I wanted it because it was innovative. It was different. But now, I mean, these phones are all the same now. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I could keep it as long as I can, I will.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But then that goes again to assessing where you are.
Yep.
What's important.
So that really just talks about, man, you know, the things that we will speed through because we want it.
Yes.
Right. And so you were speeding through cash because you got 3 lines in order just to get the newest phone, right?
Oh, man.
So we speeding through. That's probably where your Impala money is.
Yeah.
Was in 3 phones.
was in 3 phones, man. Speaking of Matt, while I'm on this angry tangent, let me tell you what else pissed me off. Okay. I remember when Verizon came out. I don't remember what they were called before, but they weren't called Verizon when I was living in California, right? I'm from California. Everybody knows that. But it was a different company. Verizon took over very shortly after. And I remember as I had a Verizon phone, I still have a Verizon phone. I've always had Verizon. But I remember way back when reading an article about a gentleman who they were like, it was a big deal. Oh my God, this guy has been with Verizon for 20 years, whatever it was. And I thought that was so cool that they're recognizing this person for their
His
loyalty, longevity, whatever, right? I was like, I want to be that person. So here I am. I have never swayed from Verizon in my life, right? And I just celebrated another anniversary of being with Verizon. If anybody wants to know how long I've been there, it's debatable because there was a time when roaming was a thing and all that other stuff, and they messed my account up. Neither here nor there. We're not going to get into that. But straight time, I've been with Verizon now for like 24 years.
Okay.
I'm now that guy.
You're that guy.
I'm that guy. I got a congratulations, it's your anniversary. They gave me a $5 gift card. A $5 gift card that I can use at either AMC movie theaters, which I can't even get a matinee ticket for $5.
Yeah, not at all.
Barnes & Noble, which I ain't reading nobody's books if anybody knows me. And I think the other one was like, I don't know, some place I don't even eat.
Okay.
It's a digital one, right?
Okay.
And I'm thinking, here I am. I've been paying you every single month, multiple lines.
Yeah.
I still have multiple lines.
Okay.
Still have multiple lines. And you give me $5? $5? I don't know. I know we got way off track, but I was just going back to what you were saying.
It's the choices we make.
It's
the choices we make, right?
I made bad choices.
It's not necessarily a bad choice. It's just your choice.
I made bad choices. And Verizon, you owe me something better than a $5 gift card.
It's just your choice, man.
Yeah, bad choices. Anyway, yes, understanding what you need, understanding when to pivot.
Yeah.
You know, not putting a whole lot of effort. I mean, but then again, it makes me wonder, right? Is it worth the effort? Was that worth the effort? I don't know.
With those phones?
Yeah, I guess. I don't feel like it was.
I mean, okay. So it's just, I guess at this point, how do we learn? Because the thing you said, you still have multiple lines. Why do you still have multiple lines? Because that's the question I have.
But it's pivoted. Right?
What's the pivot?
Well, see, because back then,
is one on a tablet or something?
Well, yeah. Well, one's on my shitty ass bootleg ass laptop that erased all my fucking work. Yes, so one line's on there.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
One line's on a phone I use to DoorDash.
It's the bat phone?
Yeah, DoorDash phone.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, because you don't want them to have your.
I don't want them to have my main number.
Okay.
First of all, and also, you know, so I can have it constantly on and going. But then if I play music on my other phone, whatever, it doesn't. Whatever.
Okay.
Anyway,
right.
So yeah, I have for that. So
okay,
it's making me this time. It's at least making me a little bit.
So now
better.
It's making sense, right?
Yes.
Previously, you had 3 lines so that you could just get the new upgrade,
and that was it.
So now it's actually making some sense. You're using it. The utility of it actually makes a little more sense than what it did previously.
To me, it might not make no sense to nobody else.
But that's growth. I see the growth.
Barely. It's there. It's there.
It's there.
Little. It's a little
It's
bit,
there.
but it's there.
You're cruising now. You're cruising because
Yes.
before you was just in the fast lane, in the speed lane,
Just
just
flying
speeding through it, right? So I get it. I see the difference now in that.
I don't know. But does
I
everybody
mean, it's funny
else?
you say that because I was a Sprint customer till I was forced out about a month ago. I was a Sprint customer for like 20 years. But then of course, Sprint changed, right? Got bought out.
Yep.
And so now, I feel like I was like, I don't like you anyway because I never wanted to be with T-Mobile. So now you forced me to be with T-Mobile. So I didn't want to, so I was going to upgrade and do all these other kind of things. But then we were able to get a family plan, with the wife because she's over on Verizon. And we're giving all of these commercials and all this other kind of stuff.
I know,
right?
and not getting paid.
Not getting nothing.
None of them.
Nothing.
$5
But we
gift
switched
card.
over.
So now you're on Verizon,
Now I'm on Verizon.
which has phenomenal service.
It's
It's better. It's better. It's better. I'm
because
telling you.
actually, it's I had a long-term relationship. So so I'm still a bit jaded.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fair.
still
That's
trying
fair.
to, work them out of my system.
That's
Because I
fair.
could call them, and I could say, "Hey, I've been with you for
This amount
da
of
da
time.
da da da. Give me,
Well, and that's fair. I mean, I could sort of kind of do that now with Verizon. This turned into a whole cell phone commercial. I don't know what it is, but I can sort of do that with Verizon.
Okay, all right, let's do this, right? So, because we had long-term relationship, right? We were able to create this kind of middle ground with them. Okay, we got to bring it back to something that makes sense, right?
Circle back around.
Circle back around. Let's corral the sheep we lost, right? Let's bring them back.
Yes.
So, because we built long-term relationships, and maybe that's even something that we have to consider, right, in life, is the value of the long-term relationship.
Right.
Because you can come back to it and you can ask, you can ask of that relationship something more than you could of the initial one, right? The quick one. This is the long-term one. This one is you've gotten into that middle ground. You've created this long-term understanding, right? My loyalty is here. I've invested here. I've bought over the course of it. I've bought 1,000 things from you, right?
Yeah.
Over the course of 20 years, right?
Yeah.
So when it's all said and done, I should be able to come to you and ask for something more than the customer that just came in yesterday, right? And so I feel like those are also important factors when it comes down to us developing this normalcy, is that we have some long-term things that contribute to that we can expect, that help us to continue on that ride and makes it smooth.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with that 100%, right? I agree with that 100%. And it's going to vary from person to person, obviously. And
right.
that need and that want is going to vary from person to person. But at the end of the day, right, we just want everybody. Well, I don't know about we. I say I want everybody to be able to look at themselves and find out what it is that they really want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What do you really want out of whatever it is? What do you really want out of life, or out of your job, your relationship, your this, your that, your whatever? Instead of speeding through and trying to get to that end result, take the time to kind of just cruise.
Yeah.
Right? Feel it out.
Right.
Figure it out. And then make your moves.
Yeah.
And then make your moves, right? And, even then, it's not always going to be right.
Yeah.
But that's part of what the journey is. That's part of that road trip, if you will, if we're keeping it in the line of automotive right endeavors, but that trip is what it's all about. And I think that sometimes, or a lot of times, people forget, it's not the point A, it's not the point B, it's that line in between.
It's the line in between
that makes all the difference, because whatever happens on that line, from leaving A, it greatly affects what happens when you get to B. Yeah.
Yeah,
of
course. Of course, man.
I don't know. That's all I got for that.
I think because we dropped a whole lot into that one.
Otherwise, it's gonna go back to cell phones. I don't want that. So let's leave it. Let's leave it there, man.
No doubt.
Let's leave it there.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Hopefully you enjoyed the show, we appreciate you listening for sure. But we need your help.
Yeah, we need your help. We need you to like, comment, and subscribe so that we can continue to make great content for you guys.
Yeah, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe.
And it's right here on the screen. Everything you need.
Right there. Thank you so much, guys, for listening.
All right, take care.